I am here to talk about the IELTS writing problem. There are many great native English speaking tutors on YouTube teaching IELTS. Then what am I, as a native speaker of Japanese, doing here talking about the proficiency test of English, to which I myself am falling? One reason is, for the majority of the test takers, their objective is not to gain a score of 9, but a score of 5, 6, or 7 at most. Some are even looking at a lower score, not necessarily for obtaining the qualification to attend universities overseas, but for example, domestic universities. The levels of English required for obtaining a score of 8 or 9 and that of 4 are so different that totally different strategies, tactics, perspectives, and knowledge may be required. My talk here is aimed at those IELTS test takers hoping to obtain a score of 4, 5, or maximum 6, particularly high school students and graduates in Japan who aspire to sit for the IELTS test to take advantage of its certification in entering Japanese universities. IELTS will be probably one of the English certification tests available and used for university entrance examinations in 2020. The topic of this video is the IELTS Task 1 writing problem, in particular bar graphs. I hope by watching this video you will get some ideas how best you can develop your writing in the IELTS Task 1 writing test. Let's get started. Sample problem. First, I have to make a disclaimer statement. IELTS is a registered trademark of University of Cambridge, ESOL, the British Council, and IDP Education Australia. The class here, including the suggested sample answer and solutions, are presented by me independent of the testing institutions, and they are not endorsed by the institution. I cannot be held liable for any consequences arising from your use of this video. Now, here is the sample chart and problem. The chart gives information about the total number of minutes in billions of telephone calls in the UK, divided into 3 categories from 1995 to 2002. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. You must write at least 150 words. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. Structure. Now, let's settle on the structure of the essay in more detail. With the minimum word count of 150, I will divide the essay into 4 paragraphs with roughly 30 words for the introduction, 50 words for the overview, and 50 words for body 1 and 50 words for body 2. This adds up to 180 words. If you can write more, that's great. Sample answer. Here is one sample answer that you can write. The chart gives information about the total number of minutes in billions of telephone calls in the UK, divided into 3 categories from 1995 to 2002. Overall, telephone calls made in the UK in terms of the total number of minutes of all categories combined are increasing consistently, while there are differences in growth among the categories. Additionally, calls by mobiles are increasing very rapidly, while local calls through fixed lines are stagnant or even declining in recent years. The total minutes of calls in 1995 were about 72, 37, and 3 billion for local fixed line, national and international fixed line, and mobiles, respectively, totaling approximately 112 billion. By 2002, they increased to 178 billion, with local fixed line, national and international, and mobile each amounting to approximately 72, 60, and 46 billion. Calls through mobiles were merely at 3 billion in 1995, but consistently grew to break through 10 billion in 1999 and then its growth accelerated to reach 45 billion in 2002. On the other hand, fixed-line local calls peaked in 1999 at 90 billion, and ever since it has been in constant decline up to 2002, when it amounted to 72 billion, only exceeding that of mobiles by about 25 billion. 203 words. Composition requirements. Let's discuss the composition requirements first. You must write an essay in 150 words or more. Your writing must 1. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features, and 2. Make comparisons where relevant. Preparation. Plan the essay before you start writing. You may draw a plan of your essay onto the paper. Without a plan, you may end up writing a disorganized essay of poor quality. Spend a few minutes planning your essay and decide on how you will develop your main points in each of the body paragraphs. By this time, you must settle on the two main features. The cohesion and coherence of your work is of tremendous importance. You must write an essay in which you have a consistent logic. The essay can be divided into 4 paragraphs: the introduction, overview, body 1, and body 2. The content of body 1 should refer to the first point raised in the overview paragraph, and the content of body 2 should relate to the second point in the overview. Introduction paragraph. The chart gives information about the total number of minutes in billions of telephone calls in the UK, divided into 3 categories from 1995 to 2002, 24 words. As with any other essay, the IELTS Task 1 bar graph essay should also start with an introduction part introducing the essay by stating what this essay is about. As a first step, you may want to copy and paste the text from the question paper to introduce your essay. This will not give you any positive marks with respect to the scoring criteria, lexical results, and grammatical accuracy and range, because it is not your writing, so you must improve it by paraphrasing it at some stage. In the example here, to save time, I simply copy and pasted the description of the graph given in the program directions. You have only 20 minutes for the whole task, and I believe that it is more important that you spend most of your time on composing a good overview and body paragraphs in this essay. Overview paragraph. Overall, telephone calls made in the UK in terms of the total number of minutes of all categories combined are increasing consistently, while there are differences in growth among the categories. Calls by mobiles are increasing very rapidly, while local calls through fixed lines are stagnant or even declining in recent years. The program directions dictate that you summarize the information. You should pick up the 2 most significant features you notice in the bar chart. And I believe that the bar chart is presented in such a way as to enable that. If there are more than 2 points you've noticed and you want to point all of them out, that is also fine, but my advice to you is to point out only 2. Touching upon more than 2 will only make things more complicated and difficult. You do not want that. In this example, I selected 2 main features. 1. The number of calls combined are increasing. 2. Mobile calls are increasing, in particular accelerating from 1999, when local fixed-line calls peaked and declined thereafter consistently until 2002. How you select the main features may vary depending on the individual. That is not important. The important thing is to select 2 main features and report them using the information in the bar chart. If you fail to report the main features and instead aimlessly describe the chart, you cannot expect good marks for task achievement because you are asked to select and report the main features. Body 1 paragraph. The total minutes of course in 1995 were about 72, 37, and 3 billion for local fixed line, national and international fixed line, and mobiles respectively, totaling approximately 112 billion. By 2002, they increased to 178 billion with local fixed line, national and international, and mobile each amounting to approximately 72, 60, and 46 billion, 55 words. The topic of Body 1 should be the first main feature summarized in your overview paragraph. In this case, the fact that the UK telephone calls combined have been increasing without any interruption since 1995. In this paragraph, I should describe the graph in detail, including figures, years, and names as much as possible, as long as they are relevant to the point. And I should make comparisons where relevant. Body 2 paragraph. Calls through mobiles were merely 3 billion in 1995, but consistently grew to break through 10 billion in 1999, and then its growth accelerated to reach 45 billion in 2002. On the other hand, fixed line local calls peaked in 1999 at 90 billion, and ever since it has been in constant decline up to 2002, when it amounted to 72 billion, only exceeding that of mobiles by about 25 billion, 71 words. The topic of the Body 2 should be, of course, the second main feature highlighted in the overview paragraph. I should continue to describe the bar graph, but now from a different perspective. I now see and report the bar graph based on my observation that the local fixed line calls peaked in 1999 when mobile calls started to take off. Again, I should include all figures, years, and names that I can observe in the graph, trying to make comparisons where relevant. Conclusion. There is nothing to conclude because this essay is to report the fact, so there should be no conclusion paragraph for this type of essay. If you haven't covered the overview paragraph after the introduction paragraph, that paragraph may come in here at the end to wrap up your descriptions in the body paragraphs. I think writing an overview at the beginning makes much more sense, and I suggest that you do so. Transition words. In the sample essay, the overview paragraph contains the transition words overall and additionally, and the phrase on the other hand is used in the Body 2 paragraph. These words or phrases make it easy for readers to follow the logic and are called transition words or discourse markers. Effective use of transition words enhances the coherence and cohesion of the essay, so it is strongly recommended that you use them. Transition words are not the only way to improve your essay's cohesion. You can also do this by making sure that your sentences and paragraphs flow logically from one to the next. For instance, linking the points raised in the Body 1 and Body 2 paragraphs with the overview paragraph. Introduction paragraph, paraphrase. The bar graph shows the total number of minutes in billions of telephone calls in the United Kingdom, divided by local fixed line, national and international fixed line, and mobiles between 1995 and 2002. 34 words. Earlier in this video, I took the description directly from the problem directions to form the introduction of this sample essay, because it is the easiest and quickest way to be done with this paragraph. But this has a shortcoming in that you do not demonstrate your writing skill. To get more marks for this part, you should rewrite the introduction text in your own words, paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is easier said than done, but there are some easier steps that you can begin with. Step 1. Look for facts that are in the graph but not included in the problem description, therefore that you can add to the text. In this case, you may identify this is a bar graph. You can replace chart with bar graph. There are names for divided categories, including local fixed line, national and international fixed line, and mobiles. Here you can replace by categories with specific names of the categories. Step 2. Look for words and phrases that you can, with confidence, change without changing their material meanings. For example, UK is short for the United Kingdom. From 1995 to 2002 is the same as between 1995 and 2002. Give information about means similar to show. In fact, there are several synonyms for this verb, such as illustrate, demonstrate, describe, represent, etc. The introduction text reflecting these small changes may not go a long way, but it does not harm your writing and hopefully may contribute to improving your score in a way. If you are aiming for a higher score, you should paraphrase more comprehensively, but that is outside the scope of this video. Practice makes perfect. I suggest that you follow the essay structure suggested here and keep the text simple and grammatically correct. Maintaining good organization is also important. After writing your essay, do not forget to check your work to eliminate any misspelling, inappropriate use of words, or grammatical errors. Stick to the basics and write a solid essay that is easy for the test graders to evaluate. Writing a good English composition requires practice. One good approach is make it a habit to grab a chart, figure, image, device, etc. and summarize the information or describe its shape and features in English. This concludes my lesson today. At Maya Eikawa School, we also have qualified native speakers of English who can help you improve your English writing skills and guide you through to scoring good bands for IELTS writing test. Thank you for watching.